Ding, 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 winner. Chicken dinner. Somebody take Dean out to eat dinner. Chicken. Amen. So listen, we're going to receive the word with gladness, right? If you say so, Brother Jeff, I say so. We're going to receive the word of God with gladness. We're excited about being in God's house, right? Some of you need to wake up. It's 11:15. It's 11:15. Rise and shine. You took a shower and everything, right? You took a shower and everything, right? Amen. Paula's here. Yay, Paula. Yay, our hands are working. That's a good thing. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Have you guys seen her post? Did you see her post when she had her little feet up and her little country living post when she posted on Facebook? Now, how is it I'm on Facebook once every 4 days and I saw it? And y'all selfieing every 15 minutes and changing your whatever. And I saw she had her feet up and she was listening to the birds sing, and I don't know what else she posted. Paula Rose, there you go. Well, I'm glad she's better. And hey, Paula she was really could have gotten hurt really bad. And so I'm glad that she's home, or not home, but glad she's here and that she's doing well. Amen. Good to see everybody. Now tonight, Rick Gordon's going to be here. How many know Brother Rick? I love Brother Rick. Okay, y'all hate him. That's all right. I love Brother Rick. I know he's old school, and he uses this old joke that one kid asked him, "Why do you sing all them old songs?" And he said, "Well, look at me. I'm old. I sing them old songs." But Rick is a lot of fun, and you guys have a good time. Just show up and have a good time with the Lord. He will bless you, I promise you. He'll probably sing "Big Fuzzy Chair," whatever it is, and it's not a real spiritual song, but it's a funny song. And, he's an awesome guy. Y'all come tonight, and the reason I didn't announce him before because everybody makes plans not to be here because they think it's a night off. Well, it's the truth. I didn't mean to go telling the truth right down the pulpit. Sorry about that. But it's the truth that we sometimes go, "Oh, it's just a singer. I got a yard on. So, but he'll bless you or something. So just understand that God will bless you if you'll show up. God will bless you. Amen. And I hope I bless you today with what God's given me. I only have one more week of emotions that we're at the cross and at the crucifixion, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus. And then we start something else. We start Pentecost. And on June the 4th is the day of Pentecost. And that's not saying it's the Pentecost Sunday. And so we are going to celebrate Pentecost on the 4th of June. And now in June, I'll be traveling a lot in June. So y'all be in prayer for me, but I'll be gone. I'll only miss one Sunday, but I'll be gone traveling a lot in June, going to Israel, going on vacation with my family. And so we are going to have a good time in the Lord in June, but I want you to be in prayer for me, okay? A lot of stuff going on. Amen. But we're going to talk about being confused today. There was some confusion going on at the cross. When Jesus was being crucified, there was confusion going on. There was people that thought he was going to bring... There were people that thought that he was going to bring absolute domination of the Roman rule as soon as he showed up. The Messiah was going to dominate. When he came as a baby, and then he came as a lamb, and he came as all those things, it kind of confused the people. And then also it confused some of the disciples when Jesus died on the cross. They were waiting for him to say, "Okay, he's going to do it now, right now." This is 1, 2, 3, now. 1, 2, 3. And they were waiting for Jesus to come off the cross and to establish himself as the king of the world and set the throne of David up. And they were waiting for that. So there was some confusion there. And so we're going to talk about being confused a little bit today. About the emotion of being confused and what happens in your life and when you're confused about some stuff. And so I'm here this morning, and yeah, I'm confused about some things. And there's some things in my life I'm sure I'm confused about. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, I hope you guys don't get offended at me for not wearing a jacket and a tie on Sunday mornings I have the last few weeks because it's 927 degrees up here. And I'm tired of sweating through everything. I go hug everybody after service and they're like, "Ew." Like, sorry. It's like I got pit stains through a t-shirt, a shirt, and a jacket. I'm just done. And so y'all, hopefully you don't get offended at me for not wearing a jacket and tie on Sunday morning, but it's just kind of hot. And I'm just trying to be comfortable. I'm just trying to teach y'all something. Okay, anyway, so listen. So being confused, I said, how can these things be? I wrote this down like 4 times. Number 1, I wrote down confused. Then I wrote down confusion. Then I wrote down Jeff Nancyism, say what? And then I wrote down another one that says, how can these things be? How can these things be that what Jesus went through, how can all this stuff happen? How can all this stuff really happen in our lives? And if I'm really living for God, how come all this bad stuff's happened in my life? And how come people in my life that I thought were going to be healed weren't healed? And how come people in my life that I thought really cared about me turned their back on me and walked away from me? And how can that really happen if Jesus is really who he says he is? If Jesus is really the Lord of my life, how can people hurt me? And how can stuff happen in my life? How did I lose my home? How did I lose my car? How did I lose my job? How did all these bad things happen? No, I'm not talking to anybody right now, I can tell. But how did any of this stuff happen in your life? If Jesus is truly the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and he is truly my Savior, how does this stuff happen in my life? And I know some of y'all sitting there going, yeah, tell us, Brother Jeff, tell us, and I need to know. Okay, I'll tell you how. Because we sometimes are confused about who Jesus is. We think Jesus is a genie in a lamp, and we rub the lamp, and he's supposed to come take care of all our, give us 3 wishes. Aladdin is one of my favorite cartoons. I love it. I love it. I love the statement of this. And you guys can, how many of you have ever seen the movie Aladdin? The rest of y'all lying. Everybody's seen Aladdin. I just want to see where the liars were. That's right. Okay, so I love when the genie comes out of the lamp and he says, ultimate amazing power. Right? Itty bitty living space, right? Remember? Because he's living in a lamp. He has all this power. He can do all these things and do all these wishes, but he's confined to a lamp. And sometimes we want to confine Jesus to just our little church or our little things. He has all this magnificent power and everything. He can give us anything that we need and everything we want, but we confine him by saying, yeah, Jesus, I really believe that you're who you say you are, but you have to stay right here. Yeah. You have to live right here, because I don't want everybody to know exactly what I believe, because I don't really know what I believe either. And so I don't want to share that with anybody, because I really don't know. How many know exactly what you believe? Don't raise your hand. How many know exactly what you believe, and you can define what it is that you believe about Jesus? You can tell somebody about Jesus because you know what it is that you know. How many really have a definition, a vision statement, if you will, about who Jesus is? Can you really talk about Jesus? Well, I know he's indescribable. I understand that. I know that he's a name above all names. I understand that. And you can give me all the little church quotes you want to give me. I understand that he's all that stuff. I get it. But who is he to you? Who is he to you? In what point in your life can you say, this is where Jesus entered into my life, this is where Jesus changed my life, this is where Jesus helped me, this is where Jesus touched me, this is where Jesus transformed my life? What is he to you? And so we're going to talk about being confused a little bit about Jesus and who he is and what he is. John chapter 17, verse 1 through 5. Ethan, I'm sorry, I wrote these down for you and let them know. John chapter 17, 1 through 5. These words spake Jesus, and lifted up his eyes to heaven, and said, Father, for the hour is come, glorify thy Son, and that thy Son may also glorify thee. As thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is the life eternal, that they may know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on earth. I have finished the work which thou hast given me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, and with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. Can you pray with me just a second? Father, I thank you for another opportunity to preach your word. I thank you for another chance to stand before your people and give honor to you by you letting me have this honor. Father, help me to be the very best I can be today. Touch us. Bless us. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen. Last Monday, I got to go speak at St. Matthew's Baptist Church. And I thank the 4 people from our church that came. And I know I didn't announce it and do what I should have done. But there was, with our 4, there were 7 people there. 7 people. And I was getting there before service, and And I got there early. My custom is to get there early. I don't get there right on time. I get there early, and I get there early just to make sure everything is like I need it to be, and make sure my head's on straight before I get up and speak. And I got there, and I said, God, there ain't gonna be nobody here, because it was getting close to 7. And I said, but I'm not gonna preach like there's not anybody here. Amen. I'm going to preach to St. Matthew's. There's this man, the pastor and his wife, are the other two from St. Matthew's there. And I said, I'm going to encourage them. I'm going to preach like there's 700 here instead of 7. And I didn't preach like there was 7, did I? Nope. I tried not to. And so I preached like there was 700. I gave everything I had. When I left there, I had sweated through. Because I'm telling you, you are very blessed today. Amen. I don't say that because I'm the pastor here. I say that because you look around. We're down people that are gone. Can you tell school's out? Yeah. And so we're down people, and look around you. Every pew has somebody sitting on one. I'm very thankful. Amen. I'm very thankful, and you ought to be thankful too, because God is still faithful to us. Amen. We've never had a summer slump. And this is our 6th year. We'll be in August, our 6th year of being pastor here. We've never gone through a summer slump. We've always either maintained the same or we've increased during the summer. We've never had that slump. And God's good to us. God's good to us. But that doesn't come without a price. Amen? And this is just parenthetically inserted here. This has nothing to do with our preaching. But if I was going to preach about that, I would tell you that you're very blessed people. Because God sees you, and God sees fit to bless you. My heart broke for Pastor Pitts and his wife. And he was so apologetic, and he was going to give me an offering. I said, you got to be kidding me. You're not giving me an offering. I said, give it to me. And I gave it back to him. Because I want him to have the blessing of giving it. And I want the blessing of giving it back. Can somebody help me just a minute? Okay. And so I'm a believer in that. I believe that you get blessed by giving. And I believe that God blesses it when you give it back. Can somebody help me just a minute? Okay. I believe in that stuff. You can say, I don't believe that. Well, don't give. I don't care. All right. So John 17, 1 through 5. Go ahead and throw that back up there for me. I'll get back into my message. But Jesus was not confused about who he was. Jesus is not confused this morning about who he is. You may be confused this morning about who Jesus is, but Jesus is confused about who he is. He said these words spake Jesus and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour is come. What hour? For him to be crucified. Yes. And he said, glorify thy Son, or give me high honor, that I could give you high honor. And so I want you to, the reason I got involved in that story in the first place is because you have been given high honor. You are highly favored by God. God loves you more than you think he loves you. God cares for you more than you think he... Listen, I drove up today, and God wants to open my heart and share with you guys. Is that cool? I'm going to anyway, don't matter. Okay. I drive up today, and I'm looking at the vehicles parked out here. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You guys drive some nice stuff. Y'all do. Y'all got nice cars, nice vehicles. Y'all are comfortable. That means God's blessing. Not just because of material things. Listen, I'm the guy that said, I don't care if I have a new house or not. I don't need a new house. I'm good. I drive a 2009 Chrysler Town & Country. I don't need a new one. Okay? Now, if someone wants to buy one, we're open. Okay? But I'm just telling you. Listen, I'm just telling you. That's not my heart's desire. New cars, new homes, that does not turn me on whatsoever. Whatever. That's your thing. Knock yourself out. I don't care. Have all the new homes, new cars you want. I don't care. I don't think God cares. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I drove up and I'm like, man, these folks drive some nice stuff. God has blessed this place. God has blessed this place. You guys realize that? Jesus is not confused about who he is. He knows exactly who he is. But do you have ultimate incredible power and itty bitty living space? Have you not expanded your borders to where God can, listen, I know we got all churchy a few years ago and everybody's doing the prayer of Jabez, but then when the bills came due for enlarging our borders, we're like, God, Lord, shrink my borders. Because when you have more borders, that means you have more grass to mow, you got more property tax to pay, that means you got more stuff to... Everybody wants their borders expanded. Nobody wants to pay the price for it. Can somebody help me down just a minute? Listen. So John 1 through 5, he said, restore me back. Let me see you again as I saw you before the world was. In verse 5. Go to verse 5. In 17 and 5. He said, let me see you again, Father, as you were before the world was. Now this is before he got crucified. This is the prayer before he was going to the cross. This is before they came and got him in the garden. Are you with me? It said, oh Father, glorify thou me in thine own self with the glory which I had with thee before I was in the world, before the world was. Before we created this thing, Father, let me see you like you were. So Jesus knew exactly who he was. He knows exactly who he is. He has no doubt exactly what's going on in this world. He knows exactly what's going on in your life, in my life, and everybody else's life. He's not an absentee father. He cares about you and he cares about what's going on in your life. But let me ask you a question. Are you confused about who Jesus is? Who is he? He's not just simply a story or a fairy tale. He's somebody greater than that. John 18, 4 through 8. We'll go there. Maybe I'll get something there you like. John 18, 4 through 8. Jesus, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, whom seek ye? They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus said unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground. Verse 7. Then asked them again, whom seek ye? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. That's the last one. That's the last one. Oh, wait. Okay. Jesus answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let those go their way. How many have a King James Bible in here? Okay. I want you to read verse 8. Verse 8, where it says, I am he. Is he in italicized words? Look at your Bible. No, it's not up here. I want you to look at your Bible. Is it italicized in the King James? You know why? They added it to make it make sense. What he actually said is, I am. That's what he actually said. Jesus answered, I have told you I am. I have told you that I am. Where did we hear that? When Moses was talking to God, and God told Moses to go to Egypt and get his people out, and he said, whom shall I say sent me? I am that I am. So he went back to the glory that he had before they formed the world, which put him in the I am category. Somebody help me just a minute. Let's go back to verse 4. Go back to verse 4. Jesus, knowing all things that come on, he said this, what do y'all want? He saw the people coming. He saw Judas coming. He saw all the people. Now Jesus wasn't a stranger. They knew who he was. They knew who he was looking for. He'd preached in the synagogue. He'd stood there and he wasn't confused about who he was. So he had preached in the synagogue. He had been there. They had all seen him. They knew exactly who Jesus was. And when they came up to him, he said, what do y'all want? Verse 5. Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus said unto them, I am. That he was added by the translators. He said, I am. And when he said, I am, what happened? Verse 6. And as soon as he had said unto them, he said, they went backward and fell to the ground because of the power of God on the I am. So Jesus knows exactly who he is. Come on, y'all get with me and preach with me today. Sit there like y'all don't know who I am. Come on. As soon as he fell backward, as soon as he said, I am, the power of God hit them and they fell backward. Jesus knows exactly who he is. He is the I am. He's just as much I am as when he was talking to Moses in the burning bush and said, you go tell him that I am sent me. You go tell him exactly who I am is. Because in that day, they had all kinds of gods. And so they needed to have a name for God. And God said simply, you tell him I am and that I am sent you. And they'll know who that is. And so he said, I am. And it knocked them backwards and they fell to the ground. And they had to get up and go, "Not anything." And Jesus said, what do you want? Verse 7. What do you want? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. Verse 8. He said, I already told you, I am. This time Jesus held back a little bit, then knocked him down, and said, let these others go their way. So Jesus is not confused about who he is. He knows exactly who he is. The confusion comes when we don't know who Jesus is. When the confusion comes when we think Jesus is a Bible story that somebody made up and put in a book, or he's just a Sunday school story, or he's just something that Jeff can preach about, or he's just something that Jeff can holler and scream at you about for 40 minutes. He's more than that. Amen. He's more than that. And if you don't know that, that means to me you don't know him. If he's just a Bible story to you, if he's just a page turner to you, oh, this Bible's very interesting. Wow, they killed all these people. Oh, wow, God did this, God did that. Oh, wow, this happened and that. If it's just a page turner to you and it doesn't resonate inside of you, if you don't exactly know who Jesus is, if you don't know exactly what's going on, if you don't have exactly a plan, then you need to get a plan about who Jesus really is. Get a hold of who he really is, because I'm telling you, he's more than just simply a hope. He is a deliverer of your soul. That's who he is. It's more, listen, I have more than just a hope that Jesus is going to save me. I know. As sure as I'm standing right here, I know that everything's right in my life. Am I perfect? Lord have mercy. No. Jesus, no, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I'm not. I still have struggles. Nobody else has a struggle. We used to call it sin, now we call it problem. I love it. Jesus said, what do you want? Judas knew him. Judas knew who he was. And this is verse 4. So why did he ask? And they had all seen Jesus and they knew who he was, so why did they ask? Because they were confused about who Jesus really was. Okay, let me ask you a question. You guys come to church week after week after week after week after week after week after week, and I thank God for you and I thank you for your faithfulness. But why don't you want to change anything? Why doesn't anything in your life really want to change? Why is it that when I preach stuff, it seems to just roll off the back? And I can ask you tonight at 6 o'clock, what did I preach? And half of the church don't have a clue what I preached. Help me just a minute. Just preach with me a minute. Is that true or false? Why is it that we come to church week after week, but nothing really wants to change in our lives? I love what Jesus said. Why call you me master when you don't do anything I say? Why are you calling me Lord when you don't listen to me? I love that verse in the Bible. They said, what are you guys talking about? Y'all go fishing or whatever you're going to do. You don't listen to me anymore. You shall listen to me anyway. But Judas knew who he was. They were confused about Jesus, and they were confused about who Jesus was. Judas knew him as a preacher. Judas knew him as a healer. Judas knew him as a miracle worker. Judas knew him as a water walker and a peace be still speaker. The multitude feeder. But he didn't know him as I am. He didn't know him when Jesus said I am, it messed him up. Because he didn't know the power of God. He knew the things of God, but he didn't know the power of God. So let me ask you a question. You're sitting in church this morning. Some of you are here by choice, and some of you are here by force because your parents made you come. And some of you don't really even know why you're here. You're just here because it's Sunday. This is our custom to go to church Sunday. So listen, are you confused about who Jesus is in your life? Do you know him as Savior and Lord? Or do you just know him as Jesus, the church guy? Do you just know him as Jesus, the church Jesus? Where I come to church and I hear about Jesus. I come to church and we sing about Jesus. I come to church and I give my offering to Jesus. But do I really know who Jesus is? Do I really understand what his purpose is? Do I really understand what he's wanting me to do? See, next week I'm going to talk to you about the call of duty, about following Jesus. And you're going to, I hope it blew my mind. I hope it'll make you go, at least go, yeah, that's really good. Okay, and so, but I hope it messes with you a little bit. But next week we're talking about the call of duty, what Jesus has called us to do. So I want to ask you one more question. I want to ask you one more time. Do you really know who Jesus is? Confusion happens when the crucifixion happens. Because Jesus is supposed to be the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He can call down 12 legions of angels. He can call them down and then we take care of all this stuff. He's the one who created everything, and everything was created by him, and nothing was created without him. He's that Jesus. He's the Jesus that is just as much God as God the Father and God the Holy Ghost. He's that Jesus. And when he's hanging on a cross dying, what is going on? I believed in him. I really believed in him. So listen, do you know him as the I am? The I am. Exodus chapter 3, 13 through 14. We'll go there. Exodus chapter 3, 13 through 14. This is when they're talking to Moses. He said, Moses said unto them, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and they shall say unto them, the God of our fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say unto me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? Hold it. Moses didn't know who God was. You have to understand Moses' plight. He was too Jewish to be an Egyptian. He was too Egyptian to be Jewish. Come on. He was too much of a Hebrew to be an Egyptian because he didn't fit in there. And he's too much of an Egyptian to fit in with the Hebrews because he didn't fit in there. He's by himself. He's lonely in a palace with everything that the world can offer him at that time. All the gold, all the women, all the stuff he wanted. He had everything, but he never did have a place. Can I share with you? You may not fit in, but that's just because you're coming to a place in your life where God can use you to where you'll relate with both sides. And oh, come on, help me just a minute. I'm so sick of pious Christians that just all they relate with is Christians. They don't relate with any sin because after all, they never did anything. You're a liar. I don't care if you were a perfect little child, you still needed Jesus. And so you can relate with somebody like that. I don't care if you never take a drink of alcohol. I don't care if you never did anything wrong in your life. And so what we call wrong in your life. You still needed Jesus. And you still had to bend the knee, and you still had to bow a knee, and you still had to say, Father, forgive me for I'm a sinner. You still had to do that thing. And so why are we always just, oh, those sorry people. Come on. They're not those sorry people. They're not. Except for the grace of God, there go I. Come on, help me a minute. Y'all preach with me a little bit. Come on, I thought I came to TOP this morning. I thought I came to some people that knew about Jesus this morning. I didn't think you were confused about who he is. I thought you might know. I was expecting somebody to shout about who he really is today. I was really expecting somebody to say, I know who he is. I know him, I know him, I know him. I know him. I didn't expect anybody to be confused today about who Jesus really is. I thought this would be elementary, and you guys just go, oh, Jeff, you got to do better than that, man. I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, we got to understand the thing. That Jesus is not just simply an elementary little level. Jesus is, come on. He is the I am. The power of I am. When you are in the presence of the I am, your enemies are powerless against you. Somebody help me a minute. In verse 6, go to John, I don't know. Where do I have you at? Go. John 18 and 6. When you're standing in the presence of the I am, your enemies have no power to stand against you. But do you really know who Jesus is? As soon as he said unto them, I am, I think that they went backward and fell on the ground. His enemies came to arrest him, and he spoke, I am, into their lives. And when they spoke, I am, his enemies fell off of him because they have no power against him. Does anybody understand who he is? He's not confused, so we must be confused. We must be confused about who he really is. Listen, series I'm working on about bones, but I just, I'm telling you, I gave myself an offering in the office. It was awesome. Okay, man, I'm telling you, I've got to call Mark and take it up. But it was just, we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. We just go to church. Where you go to church? I go to church. Right now. Don't hurt yourself, sweetheart. We'll put you out. Now, I want you to be here. Of course I want you to be here. But, if we're stressing you, we'll kiss you on the forehead, give you a cake. We'll love on you. Wait up. Because I don't want you to be here if you don't want me here. I'm not going to beg anybody to be here. I'm telling you, I want you here. I want every person that I see right now, boom. I want you here. I feel like I can contribute to your life. I feel like I can put something in your life. I feel like God gives me word to put into your life. I really do. If I didn't, I'd quit. I really feel like that God gives me something to contribute into your life. I really feel like I help. And if I didn't feel like I helped, then I'd go do something else. I'd go help somebody else. I really feel like I can help you. Get along this journey so we can all go to heaven together. Wouldn't that be awesome if we all showed up and we're all there? Man, wouldn't that be cool if nobody got left behind? That's something I'm going to preach next week because Jesus said, God, I kept every one of them. I didn't lose any of them except for the son of perdition. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Wouldn't it be awesome if we could all just go to heaven together? We all show up, even the ones you don't like. I'm just being real. They don't like you either, but hopefully we can all get there. Okay? All right, isn't that cool? All right, there it goes. The power of I am made his enemies fall down to the ground. I'm trying to hurry. Verse 7, he says, what do y'all want? I already told you who I am. What do you want? We want Jesus. I'm him. Come on, get you some. And he let them take them. They let them take him. He didn't have to, but he did. He had one more task to complete. And he said, here we go. Because in chapter 17, I read you how he said, Father, glorify me that I can glorify you. Hold me in high regard, because I hold you in high regard. Verse 8 said, I am, and he let them take him. Had another task complete. Jesus wasn't confused about who he is. He knew exactly who he was when he said, I am, and then fell back. He knew exactly who he was when he said, I am, and let him take him. He knew exactly who he was when he said, I have one more task to complete. Not my will, Father, but yours be done. In verse 10, Peter was confused about who he was. Because in the garden, when they came and took Jesus, Peter forgot he was a preacher. Peter forgot he was a water walker. Come on now. You want to give Peter a hard time, at least he was walking. He was walking on the water. Ain't none of us ever done that, but he was walking on the water. Peter forgot who he was, and Peter took out a sword and tried to cut dude's head off. No, Brother Jeff, he cut his right ear off. Do you think he was really surgically trying to remove his right ear? Now, stand still. No! He was hacking dude's head off. He pulled a sword out and was going to cut his head smooth off. And I can't remember his name. I wrote it down. What's his name? Huh? Malchus. Ducked. Yeah. He ducked. And he goes, whoa! He ducked! And he missed his head and took his ear off. And Jesus, in another place, Jesus heals his ear before they take him. Now I'm thinking, if I'm one of the guys taking him and some dude got his ear cut off and Jesus just stuck it back on his head and healed it, I'm leaving Jesus alone. I'm just being real. I'm leaving Jesus alone. Hey, you have a good day, bud. Okay? Because I'm out. All right? And so, I'm done. But Malchus got his ear cut off. Jesus puts it back on and says, oh, y'all coming? Let's go. Because you know everybody's like, whoa. And these are just people, guys. I don't care if they were Roman soldiers. I don't care if they came to get Jesus. But can you imagine somebody who picks up an ear, sticks it back on the dude's head, and you're like, oh, we'll see that every day. Let's go. And so, can you imagine that? No, you can't imagine that. And so he does that because he is the I am. And he healed it. Peter forgot for a minute who he was. Listen, Peter was confused whether he was a fisherman or a preacher, a disciple, a social worker, or a warrior. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know exactly who he is. What do you mean a social worker? He fed the 5,000 and the 3,000. And he's the one that had to go to divvy out the food. Because Jesus said, hey, y'all sit them down. Y'all feed them. I'll expand it. Y'all feed them. Okay, so here's the deal. He drew his sword and tried to kill Malchus, and he didn't try to cut his ear off, he tried to cut his head off, and so he just happened to duck at the right time. You may be confused about who you are this morning. I'm trying to wrap it up. I don't know if I'm going to get you out of here or not, but you may be confused about who you are this morning. You don't know if you're a child of God, you don't know if you're a child of the devil, you don't know if you're even a child. You don't know if you're a disciple, you don't know if you're a preacher, you don't know if you're a singer, you don't know who you are. You just don't know. All you know is you want some answers. Because can I share with you that not everybody gets up on Sunday morning and goes to church. I dare say there's more people not at church in Seminole this morning than there are at church this morning. And the people that aren't, some of the people that aren't at church this morning think you're crazy for being here. Why would you go there? Why would you give money to a church? They think that's crazy. They think it's crazy to come in and hear me yell and spit at you. They've never been here though. They need to come let me yell and spit at them. Okay? They think they're confused about who Jesus is, but some of us are confused about why we're here and what we're doing here. Because we really don't know the I am. We know Jesus as the preacher preaches. We know Jesus in the song. We know Jesus in the Sunday school lesson. We know Jesus in the prayer meeting. But we've never met the I am. Come on now. The I am of God. What does I am mean? Anything you need. What do you need in your life? I am. What's going on in your life? I am can handle that. What needs to be touched in your life? I am can handle that. You may not know who He is. He may be your Savior. He may be your Lord. He may be your healer. He may be your champion. He may be your way when there seems to be no way. You know what I like about the book of Exodus? You know what it reminds me? That God is the God of Exodus. I'm never trapped. I'm never trapped. He makes a way. Exodus. Oh, we're trapped. There's Migdal. There's Pi Hahiroth. There's the army coming behind us. There's the Red Sea. What are we going to do? I don't know. I love it. I love Moses. Moses walks out and says, stand back and watch the salvation of the Lord. Then he goes to God and says, you got to do something. Read it. That's what he does. He tells all the Israelites, you just watch, because God's really going to do something. And then he goes back and says, God, you got to do something. We're going to die. And, you know, I know that in the movie, The Ten Commandments, you know, stand back and watch the salvation of the Lord. And he holds his rod out, and then he goes, but that's not how it happened. The east wind blew all night. You with me? Okay, y'all need to read the Bible. It's a very interesting book. Okay, and so the east wind blew all night. When he said, watch and see what God's going to do, the wind started blowing. Yeah, big deal, Moses. We're in the desert. Of course the wind's going to blow. Big deal. And it blew all night. It wasn't until in the morning that they saw the end of the miracle. But during the nighttime, there was no miracle. The army was still coming. They were still trapped. There was still no answer from God, except the wind was blowing. So let me ask you a question. In your life, who's Jesus? I don't know. Is he the east wind blowing when it doesn't seem like anybody else can do anything? Is he just an east wind blowing in your life? It doesn't seem like, because, well, I'll give you another example. I see a cloud of a man's hand, the size of a man's hand. Get down because it's going to rain.
Yeah. Amen.
It may not look like much, but it's something. What do you have, lady? I just got a little bit of cruising oil. You better go get some pots because we're going to have an oil factory in here. Just a little bit of oil. Lasts us forever. I'll try to hurry. I'm trying to hurry. Who is Jesus? To you, he may just be a story, a religious figure, a fairy tale, a hope, a chance. Maybe he's your last straw. I'm going to give Jesus a chance because I just can't do this on my own anymore. I'll give Jesus a try. But who is he? Who is he? I love it that Peter was confused. And he said, I'm going fishing. I'm going fishing. In John 21:3, you don't have to go there. That's what that's showing. Peter says, I go fishing. So confusion will cause you to go fishing when you should be standing there. Confusion will cause you to pull a sword out and try to cut somebody's head off. Confusion will try to get you to try to kill somebody when you should be standing next to the person that you say you love with all your heart. Confusion about who you are and about who Jesus is will cause you to miss an encounter with Jesus. In John chapter 20, verse 24, Thomas wasn't there the first time Jesus showed up and picked the lock. He wasn't there. Because he was confused about who Jesus was, he was confused about who he was, and he had to go get some stuff right. And I don't blame Thomas at all for going to go get his head together. Because I may have done the same thing. Confusion will cause you to weep when you should be rejoicing because the tomb's empty. If you don't know who he is, if you don't know where he is, confusion will cause you to weep when you should be rejoicing. How can Jesus be all these things? How can Jesus be all these things? Let's go ahead and start there. How can Jesus be all these things? Because he is the I am. He's the I am. He's everything. And even when Peter, turn it up. Even when Peter said, I'm going fishing. Out of that.
He's the King of glory. He's the King of kings.
When Peter didn't know who he was, Jesus knew who he was.
That's my King. I wonder, do you know him? My King is a sovereign King. No means of measure can define his limitless love. He's enduringly strong. He's entirely sincere. He's eternally steadfast. He's immortally graceful. He's imperially powerful. He's impartially merciful. Do you know him? He's the greatest phenomenon that has ever crossed the horizon of this world. He's God's Son. He's a sinner's Savior. He's the centerpiece of civilization. He's unparalleled. He's unprecedented. He is the loftiest idea in literature. He's the highest personality in philosophy. He's the fundamental doctrine of theology. He's the only one qualified to be an all-sufficient Savior. I wonder if you know him today. He supplies strength for the weak. He's available for the tempted and the tried. He sympathizes and he saves. He strengthens and sustains. He guards and he guides. He heals the sick. He cleanses the lepers. He forgives sinners. He discharges debtors. He delivers the captives. He defends the people. He blesses the young. He serves the unfortunate. He rewards the aged. He rewards the diligent. And he beautifies the meek. I wonder if you know him. He's the key to knowledge. He's the
Do you know him? Do you know him? I'm not confused about who Jesus is. But maybe you are. I know who he is. He's my King. He's my Savior. He's my Lord. He's everything I need. I can't believe you're so quiet. I can't believe it. Listen, if you're here this morning and you don't know Jesus, I would love to introduce you to him. I would love to be the one that gets to introduce you to my King. If you don't know him, everybody bow your head. Close your eyes. If you don't know him this morning, just raise your hands. Brother Jeff, just pray for me. I'm not going to pull you down and drag you by your hair down here. I've been a little confused about who he is and who I am. I said, help. I want everything to be right in my life. Amen. Thank you. If you know who he is, that's awesome. Don't be embarrassed about not knowing who he is. Because I'll guarantee you there's a whole church full of people that you know exactly who he is. I preached this message and I still don't know everything about what I preached this morning. I preached what God gave me to preach, but there's so much more in there. I don't have time to preach it. If you're not sure who he is, let me pray with you this morning. Amen. Everybody look up. I hope I challenge you this morning. I hope you're challenged this morning to find out who Jesus really is in your life. I can't tell by your reaction if I did any good or not. I don't know if I did it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure what God gave me, and you guys can do what you need to do. But hear me. Hear me. He wants to reveal himself to you so badly. He gave us the Bible. He gave us, man, we have some of the best preachers in the world that have ever been on this planet preaching right now. I'm telling you, if you can't find a good preacher, you're hurting for certain. There's some guys that are throwing some stuff out there, throwing some stuff down that God has given some revelation to. There's some guys, God, listen, he's turned up the heat for this last time. He really has. He has poured out everything he can pour out trying to get people's lives right. He is. And be careful who you listen to. Don't listen to some nut job. But I'm talking about, you find somebody that's preaching the Bible, it's called it sin, and not our problem, but it's our sin. We need to get rid of it or it's going to take us to hell. You find somebody that preaches right. You know what? The guy that preaches here does okay. Okay? You're welcome to come here. But I want you to understand something. God has poured out his power on some young ministers that are coming up in their 20s and 30s and have really, he's got some young lions really coming out and preaching some good stuff. And then he's got Louis Giglio, who's 60 years old, still reaching college age. I love Louis Giglio. He's 60 years old and still reaching college kids. And still reaching college kids. And he's still relevant. And he's still, I love it. I love him because he's not ever said, well, I'm going to do real ministry now and go after adults. Him and his wife have been doing college since they were in Waco going to school together. It's amazing to me that God is reaching out with everything he has. He wants you to know who he is. You need to know him because I'm telling you, he's a good, good God. That's who he is. He's a good, good Father. And he will bless you. I promise you he will bless you. Stand to your feet, I'll get you out of here.